Well, welcome everybody. I'm Lisa Petrich. I'm your youth director here at Unity of Olympia, and I am happy that you joined me today for another lesson on finding your Zen. Today we're going to talk about God walks and growth. God walks and growth. But let's start with prayer. So if you will get your prayerful moment, prayerful candle, remembering that candle represents the Christ light within, and say this prayer with me. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing us here together today. May we live, love, and grow from one another. May we be present and mindful of our own self-awareness. Thank you, God. And now we're going to do our Bible quote for today, which is very simple. You will show me the path of life. You. Who's the you? Who's going to show you the path of life? I'm hoping you think that that's Spirit or God. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But first we're going to talk about our mindfulness tool. So today's mindfulness tool may or may not be something you have in your house. Today's mindfulness tool is a drum. Do you have a specific kind of drum? It's a djembe drum. So when we talk about drumming, drumming is something that's been around for centuries where people get together and they just try to go along with each other's rhythm. Somebody usually is on a heart drum in the middle, and they beat the heart, and everybody else just kind of adds to it in their own special way. I've done drumming circles for years, and with people with church, and then I did them with YOU rallies, and we had so much fun. I even was with a master percussionist, Leroy White, who has just stayed in my heart forever because he has brought so much music and love to my life. So he taught me how to play. This is called a djembe drum. This drum right here is a djembe drum, and normally djembe drums are made, they're an African drum, and they are made out of African wood, a real hard wood. And the djembe is one of Africa's best known instruments. It's a goblet shaped drum, and it's traditionally carved from one piece of African hardwood and topped with an animal skin as part of the drum head. And it sounds like this. And you can have a lot of fun with a drum. You can just, it's a great mindfulness tool. It's not just about learning how to play it. It's also about, just about releasing energy. So you got to get out of your head. You can't be thinking, am I doing this right? You just got to play and have fun with it. So we're going to watch a video here about some children learning the drums, learning the mindfulness tool of our drums. Oh, where do we go? Mindfulness tool. Here we go. Let's see if we can do this. Look how much fun they're having.
Okay, that was awesome. Let's give it a try once more. Oh, well done. All right. This is how we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Aha. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3.
Now, if you don't have a drum, I want you to get an upside down bowl, a pot and pan. You can do this.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You have to be present when you drum, and that's mindfulness.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now that is just a lot of fun. I think that when you drum like that, you just focus on what the now moment is. So if you didn't have a drum and you want to go back and rewind it and get a bowl or get a pot and pan and just play with it, because it's a lot of fun to use a drum for a mindfulness tool. All right, so today's lesson is about God walks. It's about taking a walk. Now, right now we have a lot of smoke in the air, so I am not suggesting that you go outside until the smoke clears. I do want to be clear about that. We have a lot of fires in the surrounding us in different parts of the state, and the smoke has come in real strong. So please wait till that clears. But sometimes we can take a mindfulness walk outside in our minds, and that's what I think we're going to try to do today. So let's read about taking a walk. It says, busy days can leave us feeling tired and stressed. When you want to slow down and unplug, practice focusing on the world around you. If you can, go for a walk in nature and use your senses to take it in. It says use your eyes. What do you see? Use your senses, your sense of touch, your sense of smell. What do you hear? All those different things when you take a walk help you to be more mindful. And we also, when we talk about a God walk, it's the way we recognize that there's something larger in our life that creates this world. And it's not just us. We're here, but something bigger created this. Something bigger is a part of it, and we're a part of something bigger. Just like a drop of the ocean is still the ocean, we are still a part of a larger force. It can be God, it can be spirit, it can be love, but we are definitely a part of a larger force. So on the back of this card, it says spending time in a forest or forest bathing. We've talked about, I take tree baths. You go on, you walk on the forest, you say, I'm taking a tree bath. And it feels good when you honor the trees and when you honor the forest for what it brings you. Forest bathing can help you feel calm. All you have to do is be there and enjoy the green surroundings. And it says, again, what can you hear? Do you hear the birds singing? Do you hear crumple of leaves underneath your feet or your steps in the gravel? Do you hear other people? All those things are things you can hear. And what do you smell? Sense of touch. Take your time and be mindful with that. Now, because we are having a, let's see, we're going to go ahead and move to our Bob Simon card. I'm sorry, we're not there yet. So Bob Simon card, and this is our card front, and I think it goes along with our forest. It says, listen, hold out your hand, open your mind, the world is trying to speak to you. And the song is called Trying to Speak to You from the album Believe the Bird, and that is from Bob Simon, one of my favorite musicians. Now let's read the card back and see what it says. It's time to transcend the idea of active listening. It's time to go deeper. Let us assume you have that part down. You are ready for a deeper experience. There is a listening that is so far beyond the ears. Maybe it is less of listening and more of tuning in. Take a moment and tune into the world, the universe. Tune in with your senses, your mind, your imagination, your heart, and your soul. So, we talk about the five senses, but there's really other senses here. We've got our mind, our imagination, our hearts, our soul. That is like our being. When we tune into life knowing that we are fully aware and taking precise choices. There are times with the videos I have to bring in some spirit. I've got to listen to some different music or some friends or somebody talk so that I can bring this to you. So you have to feed yourself in order for you to take care of others or for you to be mindful. So here it goes. It says the world is speaking to you on so many levels, and boy, do we feel that right now. It doesn't speak in English. It speaks in a metaphor, a symbol, and so much more than the language we created. A book tossed from a car window melting in a puddle. What is that telling you about your own reading habits? A sunset seemingly on fire across the water. How does that move your heart? Allow the world to have its way with you. So much more than words. Tune in, listen, and grow. So we're going to tune in here by making this commitment. I am beyond listening. I am now a tuning fork for the universe. So say that with me again. I am beyond listening. I am now a tuning fork for the universe that really just allows you to be fully aware of what's going on, not just with yourself, but with, and not in anxiety or worry, but just with Mother Earth, and being able to consciously make decisions to help and support. And that's what I want to do next. I want to do a drum meditation. So what I'm going to do is I have a few videos I want you to hear. I'm going to play some, we're focused on the fire. All the images I'm seeing on Facebook and all around and in the news is a lot of fire. And what we want to do is bring in the rain, and we want to bring in the calm rain. And in order to do that, we have to, as my mom told me this morning, we got to practice the gratitude for the rain and act like it's already here. And so part of that is we're going to be listening to two things. I've got some African djembe drums, and I've got some rain. See if you can hear that. Now I want you to get settled and get still as I read to you, as I talk to you about just this meditation. We're going to do just a little meditation together. So we're going to take in this mindful drumming. We're going to listen to the drums in the rain, because sometimes we're so busy we take for granted all that is around us, including Mother Earth. Right now, our part of the world is on fire, or very smoky from the fires. So let's take a moment to be grateful for rain. Let's visualize rain coming down from the sky, the refreshing coolness, the fun puddles it makes, and the way it cleanses our earth. So if you can close your eyes and just visualize the rain. See if you can smell it. The smell of rain is awesome. Feel it. Hear it. See it. Right now, the smoke represents much loss in our world. As I'm looking out my window, I'm seeing how hazy it is. And it represents, the smoke is a release of people's possessions, animals of the forest. And sometimes there's a sadness or a grief that comes in with the smoke. Because people are trying to move forward through their lives without these familiar surroundings. They don't have these things in their life anymore. Let's offer prayers for these by being and honoring their loss. Tell the fires they have gobbled up enough and are full now. They can rest and they can be still. And take a moment to welcome the rain. Listen to the rain and feel the rain on your skin like a warm drizzle. Listen to the drums and hear the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. Be aware of her and honor her. Visualize it raining at your house on your windows. See the rain as it drizzles on your windows and down your window panes. Visualize it raining all over your yard and your neighborhood. Visualize it raining all over your city. Think of places that you go in your city, whether it's a grocery store, a library, shopping mall. It's raining. It's cleansing everything, because rain does that. Keep feeling the drops. Keep feeling the lightness and the refreshing feeling of rain. Visualize your city and your state honoring the rain. Visualize all the fires smoldering. Everything wet, everything renewed. You can feel the lightness of the worry being released as many people and animals feel safe again. Say this after me. I am safe. I am at peace. I am loved. I am well. Now say this after me. May all beings be safe. May all beings be well. May all beings feel love. May all beings know peace. Aho, so it is. You can come back to the room. Gosh, those drums are just gorgeous. Yeah. How did that feel? How did that feel? I hope you enjoyed that. It was close to my heart, so glad you joined me for it. Alright, let's move on to our made out of stars. One more little concept to cover here. And our quote today, it says, it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then. No use going back. You think maybe you haven't changed so much, but every day you're growing. Every day you're a different person. That was by Lewis Carroll. Alright, and let's think about that quote. We grow each day without thinking about it. Our bodies are like magical creatures with the ability to transform our food into energy. If you think you aren't growing, look at your hair and your toenails, your fingernails. How many times do you have to cut them to keep them at a healthy length? Being aware of our growth is important because we can use this to separate from our physical body and be the awareness that is the observer of what we're doing. And once we can break away from just reacting and being just kind of going in our routines, we break away and we can be an observer. And that's a first step. So let's go back to our Bible quote. It says, you will show me the path of life, and it's from Psalms. Using the Bible quote can give perspective on the quote from the book Made Out of Stars. Being an observer can help us to make choices that benefit our growth. If you are aware of your growth, then you can start being aware of the choices you make, being healthy choices or not healthy choices. Your food, what you listen to as music, what you watch on TV or social media, you have the choice to say no to anything that does not serve you or your body. The book quote reminds you that you are not the same person you were yesterday. Each day starts anew. So maybe you have done some unhealthy things. I know I have. I mean, everybody has choices to make, and everybody tries their best to make the best choices for them. But every day we have an opportunity to make that anew. The Bible quote reminds us, the book quote reminds you that you are not the same person that you were yesterday. Each day starts anew. And the Bible quote reminds you of where to look for the healthy choices through the awareness of your higher self as you observe your own choices. So this week, I want you to remember to observe your choices and say no to the ones that don't fill your spirit. It isn't easy. Sometimes we need to say yes to remember why we want to say no. And for example, like if you've had too much pizza, or if you've had too much ice cream, or maybe even you've exercised too much, sometimes we push our boundaries and we realize that we have to set them for ourselves. So when you put pen to paper this week, I want you to journal about how you've changed for the better in the past year. What is something you are now that you weren't last year that you've changed for the better? And then write about that. And journal about some healthy choices you can make from this point on and that you want to learn how to make. You may not make them every day. It's going to take time. Life is a process. But at least being aware, the awareness allows you to make the changes that you need to make. So just a few sentences about to remind yourself you are the observer and you have choice. So I want you to think about, we're going to move on to our unity principles today. Which principle did we discuss today? God is good and active in everything everywhere. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and everyone. I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do and give my best by living the truth. I know, and I make a difference. Which one do you think that we talked about the most today? And our prayer for protection, I took a picture that Mr. Petrich and I took at the beach, or Mr. David and I made it a wonderful prayer for protection for you to follow. So say this with me, please. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for joining me here today. I hope you have a wonderful week.